These 5 people are worth nearly $500 million, and they're ready to invest their own money into the best business ideas they hear. But can anyone convince them to part with their cash?
So I see this business as being very problematic.
It must be the ugliest bike I've ever seen in my life.
Are you in or out, Annette?
I'm getting there, Julie. Keep your pants on.
It's not studyable, it's common sense.
New Zealand is often credited with being one of the most entrepreneurial countries in the world. But is it? Here in the Dragon's Den, cash-hungry entrepreneurs are about to arrive with the business ideas they think could make millions. They'll pitch those ideas to 5 investors, who in turn could give them the money to get their businesses going. So who are our 5 investors? The dragons in the den. Our first dragon, Sir Bob Jones, built his empire by first investing in commercial property. His wealth now stands at more than $200 million, making him one of the country's leading entrepreneurs. Julie Christie made her $25 million in the media industry. She sold her multi-million-dollar entertainment company earlier this year and has other investments ranging from hospitality to a South Pacific resort. Paul Webb started the cut-price airline CityJet. However, he hit the headlines when the company collapsed in 1999, but has since rebuilt his personal fortune to more than $20 million through investments in companies ranging from media to commercial fishing. Aucklander Annette Presley is worth more than $35 million. She started off investing in recruitment before buying and transforming Australian telecom businesses, and she's now the face and owner of internet firm Slingshot. Barry Colman started off his $130 million fortune in the publishing industry as founder of Liberty Press. He also has many high-end investments, ranging from retail through to aircraft manufacturing. Our first entrepreneur has come to Dragon's Den claiming his product is a world first. Cantabrian Mike Hodgkinson wants a massive $500,000 to go global. In return, he's offering just 15% of his company. Now remember, he must get at least that, or he goes away with nothing.
Hello, Dragons. I'm Mike Hodgkinson, and this is the world's first mountain motorcycle, developed by our company FX Bikes. What's different about this bike is it's by far the world's lightest high-performance off-road motorbike. Sitting here, this is our heaviest duty model. It weighs 57 kg, ready to ride, compared to the standard off-road motorbike, which weighs 90 to 120 kg. Mark will give you a little lift. You can't normally do this with a dirt bike that can do 100 kilometres an hour over rough terrain. So what this means is that it's extremely portable. It can be carried on the back of a standard vehicle on a heavy-duty mountain bike rack. It can be lifted over fences or obstacles that would otherwise be unrideable or impassable by off-road vehicles. We've had several international reviews of our prototypes to wide acclaim. We've had the New Zealand Army and the New Zealand Police evaluating these for their purposes. But most of our interest has come from the United States recreational market, and we've already received over $100,000 worth of orders. So what we're aiming to do is release a limited first edition of 110 units. In year 2, we aim to sell 2,500 units, mainly in the US, and by year 5, 20,000 units at a margin of $1,000 per bike.
Mike's lightweight motorbike seems to have been well received by the Dragons, but are these business heavyweights willing to part with the $500,000 he wants for just 15% of his company?
How much are you going to sell them for each? What's the retail price?
For the limited first edition with all the best Italian suspension and all the rest on them, $10,000 New Zealand each.
If I went out and bought a dirt bike from someone else, what would I be paying?
pay up to $12,000 for the top-of-the-line Japanese dirt bike.
Down to what?
Down to $6,000.
Right.
And our aim in volume production is to have a $6,000 entry-level model and still have the high-level $10,000 models. And in the titanium frame, we've sold a couple of bikes already for $23,000.
You haven't told us what the profit payback is. You know, for the $500,000, when does the money come back to the investor?
We're aiming for a 10 times return on your investment within 5 years, and through an exit of corporate buyout from a larger motorcycle or recreation company.
Is that the exit strategy, is it? Get Harley-Davidson to buy it?
That's right.
Barry Colman appears to appreciate Mike's forward thinking, but all that matters right now is getting a deal off the ground. And do any of the other dragons think Mike's motorbike can fly?
Essentially, it looks to me like a trail bike with mountain bike wheels on it. Is that correct?
It's getting there. Using those kind of wheels is a huge weight advantage, and we've stripped off all the plastics that would normally be on a dirt bike. There's quite a lot of clever engineering, and most of the engineering's gone into this frame, which is only 0.9 of a millimetre thick. So we've got some very high-end engineers from Boeing and Grand
So
Prix
really,
working on
the
it.
fact that it's lighter is its unique selling point, is that correct, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's about it? It's lighter.
That's right.
Who owns the company?
There's split ownership between myself. We've had an angel investor put in $350,000 a couple of years ago, and we've had about over $1 million worth of time put into the company by a very wide variety of expert team members who collectively own about 20% of the company now.
What's your background?
I've got a master's in business development.
Was that a total waste of time?
Well, I know you don't like commerce students, Bob, but I think...
I don't dislike commerce students. I don't like students wasting valuable years studying such nonsense, because it's not studyable, it's common sense.
I just don't know enough about this area, so I'm out.
Thanks for considering it.
Well, Mike, I'm not a motorbike person. I've only ever driven one twice, thoroughly enjoyed it, I might add, but it's not something that's part of my thing, and I personally couldn't relate to it. It looks very pretty, but it's just not me, so I'm out. But I'd wish you good luck with it anyway. It does look attractive.
Thank you very much.
With Bob Jones and Julie Christie now out of the deal, that leaves 3 dragons still in. But can they relate to Mike's business proposal?
Well, I wouldn't mind giving you $100,000 towards it if one of the other dragons or a couple of the other dragons would come with me. I think that you're on the right track. But I'd be a bit nervous about putting $500,000 into it.
I'll put in 100 with you if you're going to do it, Barry. But I think 500 is probably, again...
$500,000 does seem like a reasonable amount of money, and 15% of the company's not enough.
Mike still has 3 dragons eyeing up his bike, but they're hungry for more than the share he's offering. Can he hold them off? Or could all 3 lose the taste for his business yet?
Any of the 500,000 being used to pay debt?
Oh, yeah, there's a little bit, actually.
Looks like an abomination to me, I'm sorry. So it must be the ugliest bike I've ever seen in my life.
Mike Hodgkinson's entered the Dragon's Den seeking a $500,000 investment in his revolutionary motorbike. Barry Colman, Paul Webb and Annette Presley are still interested, but less than impressed with the 15% stake he's offering.
How much of the company do you own?
About 45%.
And your angel investor, does he own 45%?
About 35.
35. Is he prepared to give up some to get some more people on board?
Yeah, we're going to take equal dilution. And
So you've discussed this with him?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'd be keen to look at getting involved, but I wouldn't be interested in 15%. It'd need to be quite a bit more than that.
Any of the 500,000 being used to pay debt?
Oh, yeah, there's a little bit, actually.
What is the position of the company right now in terms of its balance sheet?
There's 140,000 in long-term loans that we need to get paid back. And we've got obviously a bit of more and more requirement for working capital as we have to order enough material to make 20 machines.
So really you need quite a lot more than the 500. 250 for manufacturing, 250 for marketing. We've got 140 in debt, and now you've got to buy some stock and fund the cash flow.
Mike's company's debt has raised the eyebrows of the 3 remaining dragons. Can they see past it, or will it be the bump in the road that stops this deal in its tracks?
I have a concern with buying into a company that immediately eats up the investment in outstanding debt, because I don't think that's necessarily a great basis to go into an investment on.
For those reasons, I'm out.
I'll make you an offer of 250 towards the investment of 500, but I'd want 20% for that 250. And it's a case of you trying to get the other 250 and giving away something for others.
So you'd be facing a 40% equity
40%.
offer for $500,000.
We've done quite a bit of work on this, and fairly clear on the valuation for the company. So we definitely couldn't go that high. We could flex a little bit, but for the 500,000, we'd be looking at more like 20% at the maximum.
I think I'm out, actually. I'll leave it up to Barry.
I'd be out on that.
Mike's unwillingness to sell any more than 20% of his company has finally put Paul Webb and Barry Colman off, and he leaves without the $500,000 he sought.
It was a sexy-looking buy.
Well, then I don't know why you're not in it. I mean, you shouldn't be haggling over his share.
No, 15%'s too little.
You need enough to be...
It's only 140 debt. You don't want
I wasn't focused on that, but it just factored into my calculation as to how much equity I wanted.
I don't know why you weren't in it then, if you understand what it's about.
15%, you're just a passenger.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's 5% if the numbers add up. Call him back.
Mike, you got so close there, but you didn't get an investor.
I was happy with the result, Rawdon. It was great to be able to present to a panel of such experienced business people, and to have them even consider putting in 250, 100, 100 with such little information, I thought was a really good result.
Now, had you been willing to accept 40% deal, you'd now have got your $500,000, but that was just too much of the company, wasn't it?
That's right. It values the company at only just over $1 million. And it was valued at that prior to having any prototypes or any sales or any media release.
Well, it certainly seems to be a very exciting product, and we wish you all the best with it.
Thanks very much.
It's in the lucrative golf market that our next entrepreneur, Simon Moore, hopes to make his millions. He's got to persuade the Dragons to part with $250,000 for a 10% share in his company.
Hello, I'm Simon Moore, and I'm the founder and CEO of Puku Golf, and this is Daniel Chapman. He's our sales director.
In a game of golf, you use your putter on 4 out of every single 10 shots you have, so if you want to be a good player, you need to be a good putter. Now, the Puku putter that we have here has got unique features which differentiates it from everything else in the market. For a start, the head is centrally balanced. We also have extra weighting in the head, which is going to help you have more of a pendulum-type stroke. But the single most unique defining feature of this putter is it is adjustable in length. We have a patent in the United States on this mechanism. I put the tool in, give the clamp a twist, and I can change the length of that putter to suit.
Now, we're here today to pitch for $250,000 investment for 10% of Puku Golf. We're pitching for money to take a golf putter to a captive market, the US market, via an infomercial, Unashamedly, our goals are large. We see Puku in 5 years as a company with round about a market capitalisation of 50 to 100 million, and we see that there's no reason why Puku, positioned in the high value with follow-on products, can't become a market leader in golf.
Simon's pitch has gone well. The figures sound impressive, and his plans for a US infomercial campaign have raised the antennae of TV producer Julie Christie.
So for $250,000, you're going to produce the infomercial?
In New Zealand, 50,000.
50,000?
Yes, we're only doing a short form 3-minute infomercial.
3-minute, 50,000. That's a lot.
Hi, I'm Annette. I love golf, don't get to play it that much, and I'm pretty hopeless at it. But I spend a lot of time in famous golf courses around the world. Do you know how many customers do you think you'll get through the infomercial?
There are 67 million subscribers to the Golf Channel. So far, Puku has made about $16,000 worth of test sales across 5 different countries. We're getting in excess of 100% markup, and with our recommended retail price of $290 US, about 450 New Zealand dollars. We believe that with an investment of $250,000, we'd need to sell 600 putters through the infomercial to break even.
That's just 1 in every 100,000 Golf Channel viewers buying a Puku putter before the profits start to flow. Surely an investment that can't fail.
If you're a passionate golfer, which I'm not,
Yep.
but I am passionate about certain things, and whenever you're passionate about something, you're fairly fixed on what you're using. You know, you don't really open your mind up to thinking that there could be a better way. You know, you're sort of ingrained in your thinking, if you like. What do you think about that?
This is about giving the customer control. This is what this is about. And the customer cares. As a golfer, I don't care whether the golf club fits Daniel. I only care whether it fits me.
I think it's an excellent idea, the telescopic thing, but it's got one flaw, as it seems to me. I can't see how you could patent that.
There's several barriers to entry here. One is that we've done it first, all right, so that's good because we own that little mental space. But another one is that we already have approval from the regulatory authorities, and it's questionable whether the patent is more important or the approval.
Paul made the point I was going to make, that if you're targeting a passionate market, those people don't care what the cost is, but they're sorted out. They don't need telescopic adjustments. I can't see a market for this, and for that reason, I wouldn't be in. I'm out.
Bob Jones is out, and Paul Webb appears to be wavering. Will any of the other dragons come to the table, or might Simon need to entice them with a meteor proposal?
Are you in or out, Annette?
I'm getting there, Julie. Keep your pants on.
I sort of feel like I'm watching The Godfather again.
Simon Moore's come to the Dragon's Den seeking a $250,000 investment in his telescopic golf putter in return for a 10% stake in the business. Bob Jones is already out. What more must Simon do to keep the other 4 dragons in?
How much have you put in so far? What's the cost?
Personally, about 400,000. And we've had about 400,000 from other people,
Right.
you know.
So really another $250,000, so it is nearly equal to a third of the company, not 10%.
The way we, if I could just address that for a moment, I perhaps could introduce, I think I will do this. There's another part to the company. Now, I wondered whether someone might pick this up, but there's actually many applications for this mechanism. Now, when I'm pitching to you here today, we are pitching absolutely for the golf. However, there definitely is opportunity outside, and so there has been quite a bit of energy put on that as well. So I just want to explain why we spent a surprising amount of money. We have about 10 patents, not in golf, in process, to do with clamps and fasteners.
Are these other applications included in the Puku deal today?
Invest in the golf, and absolutely we're committing ourselves to you can invest at the same rate in the other if you wish.
Simon's raised the stakes with the revelation that his unique clamp technology is being applied in many more areas besides golf. Could this bring the desired response from the Dragons?
Well, I'm interested. And I don't know if you know, but I also used to own a television production company. So I can make your infomercial.
Great.
We also have an office in LA. So we can probably cut out the middleman agent who you have to pay to get it on the Golf Channel. I'll give you the $250, but I want 35%. And what I will do is ensure that all the money is spent on airtime rather than on the production of the infomercial.
I think that's fantastic, and actually, business is about getting the right team on board. But if it were more than one, I find it more attractive.
So, Julie Christie's offering $250,000 for a 35% stake. And while Simon seems pleased with the offer, he's hoping to get other Dragons on board for the ride.
At this point, I'll declare myself out.
Thank you.
Well, I'd make you offer at $250, but for 10% of the holding company. I'm not interested in the subsidiary.
I think you've given a great presentation. You deserve to be taken seriously. You're talking about serious numbers that definitely turn me on.
Are you in or out, Annette?
I'm getting there, Julie. Keep your pants on. I'd actually be keen to partner with either Julie or Barry if they're keen at 50% of either of their options.
Can we just have a few minutes just to discuss that then? Thank you.
The cards are on the table. Julie Christie's offering $250,000 for 35% of the Puku putter. Barry Colman, the same amount, but for 10% of all of Simon's inventions. And Annette Presley wants to buddy up with either Julie or Barry.
I like them all. Maybe if Barry could get a partner, if someone went in with Barry as a partner.
Simon now has the luxury of picking his preferred business partners.
If you had to choose one, which would you choose?
I would probably go.
Seems too much.
Yeah, what if I did 30% with Annette and Julie?
I think the 35% is a little bit high. The production is so important, and the storytelling is so important, and an infomercial is like communicating your brand. So I'd like to see a way of finding Julie in the deal.
Why don't, if Barry agrees, Barry and I have 7.5% each of the holding company, and I'll still make the infomercial.
Yeah, I'll buy that. The offer is now 15% of the holding company for $250,000, split between Julie and myself, plus she'll make the infomercial.
That's more attractive, definitely.
I'd take that offer.
Let's shake hands on that.
The deal is made. Julie Christie and Barry Colman each taking a 7.5% stake in not just the Puku putter, but Simon's other inventions as well. In return, he gets $250,000 and Julie's expertise in creating an infomercial that'll sell the Puku putter to the world.
I think you've got a good investment there.
I would be very reluctant to ever buy anything where you've got less than 25%.
You don't play golf? Oh, you do play golf?
Hack around from time to time, but not really, no. I think it will sell, particularly if Julie makes the infomercial. You'll make it sell.
Guys, you've just had the Dragons clamouring over you. How did you make your decision?
It was a question of structuring a deal. We could have run with Barry's alone, definitely. But we felt there was a lot to be added with Julie.
Did you know that she was involved in the TV industry before you came here?
You know, we have to admit to being very naive and making the connection. We didn't, strangely enough, for a couple of people pitching for money for an infomercial, we didn't realise the significance until she made the offer.
But a great day's work, guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You must be thrilled.
We're very, very happy. And it's absolutely the best outcome that we could have hoped for, definitely.
Best of luck to you both.
Thanks very much.
In the Dragon's Den, it's fair to say failure certainly outweighs success, and those seeking investment often leave disappointed. Shelley Locke needed $80,000 to get her NZ Event Finder website up and running, but Bob Jones was less than convinced.
I mean, I don't see anyone sort of visiting Rotorua and wanting to know there's a school gala on, and that might be a reason not to go to Rotorua.
Jennifer Howard wanted $440,000 for her Telerain, a device using cell phone technology to train horse riders.
Coaches are going to be able to tell how much pressure the rider is putting on the horse's mouth.
But Annette Presley wanted to know that it really worked.
So if you had a rider use this technology who is a superb rider and you've seen a huge improvement in their performance based on this product?
Right.
Yes or no?
I think it's a very motivating factor in
Yes
itself.
or no?
Paul Webb and Bob Jones were both wary of horse riding types.
They're often nuts and they'll do anything.
They are, they're all mad. They're all stark raving. They're like beekeepers, they're all deranged.
And Barry Colman was spooked by Jennifer's realistic prop.
Is that a real horse?
It's polystyrene. It's polystyrene.
I sort of feel like I'm watching The Godfather again with that animal staring at me.
All of which meant Jennifer Howard rode off into the sunset minus any investment.
Looks like an abomination to me, I'm sorry. It must be the ugliest bike I've ever seen in my life.
I'm here to offer you an investment opportunity.
Richard Worrell from Christchurch thinks he has an answer to the rising cost of fuel. But do the Dragons believe in his solution for comfortable commuting? And more importantly, are they willing to give up $280,000 of their own cash for 40% of his idea?
Welcome to the future of personal transport. My name is Richard Worrell from Feet First Human-Powered Vehicles. I'm here to offer you the opportunity to invest in the biggest revolution in cycle design in over 100 years. This is the Feet First Street Cruiser. Now, what sets us apart from a normal upright bicycle is a range of innovative design features that we've incorporated into the machine. Firstly, this is a recumbent style bicycle, which means it has a proper seat rather than a small uncomfortable saddle with your feet out the front. We have a 60-litre all-weather luggage box at the back. We have built-in headlight, rear light, as well as indicators, and on the production model we'll also have a brake light. We also have a chain guard, which means you can wear any sort of clothes you like at all. And also the frame adjusts in and out, which means anyone from about 5'2" to 6'2" can ride the same machine. We've conducted market research, which indicates that there's a potential market in New Zealand for up to 7,000 of these style machines. We believe that we can capture up to 30% of that market. We're seeking $280,000 over 3 years for 40% is our starting point for that. First of all, to manufacture 25 prototypes for continuing design refinement and testing, and then we go into production in year 2. We're expecting to start selling in the second year, and we're hoping to capture approximately 1% of the New Zealand cycle market, which is 2,250 units, and we're hoping after that to start looking at overseas markets. We have a retail price of around about $2,599, and we expect the production cost to about $1,000.
So Richard wants $280,000 to give his bike business the push it needs, and he's offering a 40% stake up front. But has his pitch made any of the Dragons sit up and take notice?
Richard, tell me, do you think that $2,599 is a lot of money for a bike?
The overseas market for these machines ranges from $1,200 right up to about $5,000, and none of them have the range of features that we have on this machine.
What percentage of those bikes currently sell in the market?
Where, in New Zealand?
Yeah.
Well, very
1%?
Small, be even less than that at the moment. Because you can't actually go into a bike shop and buy one.
Well, how do people get them? Because you see them around all the time.
You can buy them over the internet. Most people in New Zealand, the ones that you see, have built them themselves.
Why might you think that they don't stock them in bicycle stores?
Where?
Well, why do you think they do not stock them in a bicycle shop?
Cycle industry is traditionally very conservative. So there's that inertia within the industry that says, oh, well, we just sell what we know.
Well, they're probably not in the shops now because they're not confident that they'd sell them.
Richard's pitch seems to be lacking one crucial ingredient, proof there's enough demand out there for his product. Can he convince the Dragons that investing some of their cash could change that?
Richard, what's the difference between that and an ordinary bike? You say just more comfortable.
A lot more comfortable. And you're sitting on a proper seat. If you look on an upright bike, you're looking at a saddle that's about that big. So we've got a big seat, just like yours, basically the same style of seat that you sit on there, and we've got 80 mils or to 100 mils of variable density foam. So it is very, very comfortable. So
you seem to me to be reinventing the wheel. And why is it elongated like that? I mean, that's a big space taker upper. It looks terribly bloody unsafe to me.
Well, it's not. I mean,
okay.
The thing is with this layout is that it's inherently more safe.
That's a very bulky item for someone to have to store. With a single advantage, you say, that they have a backing to their seat. Well, they don't want a backing to this. Kids don't want it. People doing cycling for recreation reasons don't want it, do they?
No, but we're not. We're two groups of targeting. One is the urban professional, 25 to 45, who currently drives to work, who are looking to save time, save money and keep fit. So this is an opportunity for them to do that as an alternative to the car because we have the luggage box on there. On an upright bike, you cannot go to work with a bag or whatever because you've got to strap it to your back, or you can't go home and go into the supermarket and grab a couple of bags of groceries. You can do all that with this machine. You can't do it on any other machine.
Selling bicycles to Dragons who'd rather commute in sports cars and private jets was never going to be easy, and Richard's pitch is failing to gain traction.
I just don't see the sustainability of those numbers. I don't believe for a moment that you could capture the market and maintain it 100% of the time. Richard, I'm out.
Okay.
I'm not interested, so I'm out.
In my view, it's not a goer. I'm out.
Richard, I know nothing about it, so unfortunately I'm out too.
4 Dragons are out, and only Barry Colman remains. Will he come to the rescue and invest in Richard's recliner bike?
Sorry, Richard. It looks like an abomination to me, I'm sorry. So it must be the ugliest bike I've ever seen in my life, so I'm out too.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Richard leaves the room empty-handed and in no doubt as to what the Dragons think of his investment proposal.
It looks like a lot of fun to go and have a ride on, but I wouldn't pay $2,600 and I couldn't see many others doing the same.
Just imagine the embarrassment factor of being seen riding one.
Richard, they obviously didn't share your enthusiasm for the product, did they?
No, they didn't. They didn't think there was a market, but I mean that's at odds with our market research. But you know that's what happens in these situations. But we'll continue on anyway. So
no joy here today. So where to next?
Well, we're going to keep refining the design and then keep looking for new investors. There's always new opportunities out there and other people to look for. So just got to keep on going.
Okay, Richard. Well, thanks very much for coming in. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
I'm here to offer you an investment opportunity.
Kendall, can I advise you that you ask each person what they'll be bringing of value to you? Because
Annette, could you just shut up?
Commercial fisherman Kendall Brown believes his innovative DIY tool could make millions. He's hoping the Dragons will get a grip on the money-making opportunity and commit $150,000 for 30% of his business.
Hello, my name is Kendall Brown. For the last 3 or 4 years, I've been a fisherman, as a commercial fisherman on a trawler. I'm here to offer you an investment opportunity in Neel Vice. Neel Vice is a portable vice that can be incorporated into most toolboxes and workshops, not just in New Zealand, but worldwide. The invention is very versatile, and the applications it can perform are varied. The idea started when I was trying to cut chain on the boat. And as you know, with chain, it's not very solid. It's hard to cut. And if you're wanting to cut that, yeah, got to get a grinder or hold on to the link that you're trying to cut. I had the idea in my head for about 3 years, and until about 2 months ago, it was still just in my head. Possibilities for this product are numerous, with different sizes and robustness to satisfy a wide range of customers. Trying to get comparisons with similar products has been a daunting task, as the fact that most outlet stores, all outlet stores I've been to, haven't got anything similar. I've never seen this product, therefore making this a unique invention and giving us the whole potential market. This is Neel Vice. It's quick and easy to use. And it supports very well. Say you're drilling something, a bit of wood, try drilling something, and if it's small, quite often tends to spin around and everything. But of course, Neel Vice, lock it in, and it's all sweet. And a large part of it was to be able to be incorporated in a toolbox without being a separate unit that you have to carry. I've formed a company, and I've got a provisional patent received. I've taken this project as far as I can. And the next step is to find an investor, which brings us to today.
Kendall's shaky start is the antithesis of his invention, a portable vice for tradesmen and do-it-yourselfers. Will his lack of confidence put the dragons off?
What are you asking us for today?
$150,000 for 30% of the company.
Did you invent it then, or your engineer? Who invented it?
Well, I've had the idea for about 3 years when I was trying to cut chain on a fishing boat.
I'd like to have a look at it, actually, to see just how it works.
That just slides on the rail here.
Yep.
And as your bit of work goes in here, just close it up.
Oh, I see.
And
Right.
even a little bit of weight is holding that quite securely.
It's the most interesting idea. Just trying to get my head around just how big a market there would be for such a thing, or a need.
It's designed for builders, plumbers.
Kendall, I also think that the market for this is the household market, because the last thing I want is a vice strapped to my garage getting in the way, but from time to time I'd love to be able to pull that thing out and use it.
So would you use that, Paul?
I would.
And you're not aware of anything like it?
No. All outlet stores I've been to haven't got anything similar.
Kendall, did you ask these retailers whether they would be prepared to stock your vice?
When I was going through the patent and intellectual property sort of part of it, they were quite specific on I should keep it secret and keep it under covers until I had a dated patent that I could hold on to.
So, although Kendall's idea isn't original, it's untested in the market. Will any of the dragons be prepared to lock their cash into such an uncertain investment and unconfident inventor?
Your pitch was terrible, I think the worst I've seen, but I can see that you're a lovely guy and you really need somebody who's going to help you do the sales, marketing and the business side. But I know nothing about your industry. I'm out.
I think it's a great product. I think you're going to get very rich, but it needs a hands-on, active involvee, and that's simply not me.
Oh, thank you for that, yeah.
Despite their initial enthusiasm, Annette Presley and Bob Jones are out, leaving 3 dragons remaining.
What ongoing involvement would you expect to have in the business?
Well, maybe in the initial years I could be the, I could put them together, do the selling, just to get the company up and going and reduce the costs. But as the company grew, I would like to step back and...
Go fishing.
Okay, Kendall, I'm going to offer you $100,000 for 30%.
So, Kendall, I'll offer you another $100,000 for another 30%.
They're 2 very good offers and...
I haven't made my offer yet. I'll offer you $250,000 for 50%.
Kendall's fortunes have changed, with Julie Christie and Barry Colman both offering $100,000 for a 30% stake each, and Paul Webb a whopping $250,000 for 50%. Can Kendall use this competition to his advantage?
Well, where I'm standing at the moment, I'm quite taken by the 250 for 50% at the moment.
Kendall, can I advise you that you ask each person what they'll be bringing of value to you, because there's your hole.
Hey.
Annette, could you just shut up?
Get screwed, Paul.
Well, I'd be prepared to go to $150,000 for 30%.
Would that be matched with you?
You guys don't want to go on 3?
Sure.
I'm going to revise my offer and I'm going to say that I too I will join Paul and Barry at 25% for $100,000.
I'd be prepared to take 25% for $100,000 and join Julie on it.
I'd be the same. 25 for 100 on the basis that we all do it.
And that's basically leaving all 4 of us with quarters, isn't it? Should we shake on it?
Despite his disastrous start, Kendall leaves the room with 3 new business partners and $300,000 investment dollars to turn his idea into DIY reality.
That is a great device, isn't it? We all agree on that?
Absolutely.
And...
fantastic application. It'll be a huge...
Oh, I'd be in it for money reasons, but
huge.
I just haven't got the disposition.
I'm prepared to sell mine, share of it to you for $250,000 right now.
Kendall, you've just walked out of there with $300,000 of investment, but it wasn't the greatest of pitch, was it? Were you very nervous?
Oh, yes, very nervous. Sort of still nervous at the moment, actually. The blood's pumping.
You have given away 75%, 3/4 of your company, though. You didn't come along intending to give that much away.
No. But I think it gives us quarter shares. They've got the brains. I've got the tool about.
You think you're going to be a rich man soon?
Oh, sooner or later.
Well, many congratulations. Thanks very much for coming, Kendall. A very successful day for you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
In the Dragon's Den, there are winners and losers. For some, their passion has seen their dream come true, their lives changed forever. For others, it's back to the drawing board. No one said business was going to be easy. Goodbye.
I find it embarrassing to see such bloody mindlessness being taught to little girls. It's pathetic. It's not a sport.
You've just assumed that we're part of the problem and you're inviting us to be part of the solution.
Congratulations, you got on television.
We as parents seem to spend a lot of time when our children are about 5 years old getting them off trainer wheels and onto two-wheeled bikes. Why would we be encouraging our children to stay on trikes?
Would you consider a marriage proposal? No children?
We have between us 7 children.
I'm talking about me. I'm offering to marry you.